Look at all that snow. And there's more in the forecast too, which means no motorcycle shenanigans. Oh, and the cat wants to be on picture too. Hi, Charlie. Yep, not a whole lot came down, but we're supposed to get another 2 to 4 inches in the next 24 or so hours, and that's on the low side of the predictions as well. We received about 1 to 3 a week or so ago, and it's really fine particles out there, but it is indeed blowing around. You can sort of see on the sidewalk there where they got it treated. We'll see what happens. Hello everyone, I'm Nate. Say hello to the 2016 Honda PCX 150.
Listen, not stoked with how close it is to the motor. Good. Haphazardly folded open in a crevice. Done it. And that is all she wrote. Which is what I would expect.
And right as I start filming, a tractor is driving in front of my apartment. This is one of the perks of living in the country. Hello everyone, this is Nate, also known as BigMCNate, back again here with another video. This is the first video I've actually recorded with something of a script because I'm on like take 6 or 7. I just can't seem to get my thoughts in a row. It is January 15th, 2024, which means this is the first recorded video of the new year, so Happy New Year. As you previously saw, it's snowing outside, and for me that means no outdoor motorcycle content at the moment. Unfortunately, that means delaying filming the introductory video for a 2009 Suzuki TU250. This video is kind of blocking me from uploading a bunch of backlogged content that's just ready to go. It's literally just sitting on a mobile hard drive, ready to go. It's just one video I need to film that I can't. The motorcycle, the 2009 Suzuki TU250, is actually in the shop right now getting about $1,500 worth of work, so can't film a video of a bike I don't currently have. Today, I wanted to go ahead and make a video recapping my first year of riding. So for those of you who don't know, I was a new rider in the 2023 riding season. I started after buying a buddy of mine's, Rob's, you'll probably see him on this channel, 50cc 2015 Tao scooter. And I had a good bit of fun on that. Just rode around here in town. The ride from his house to my house was probably the most riding that scooter's ever seen in one shot. That bike took a little bit of work. Drained the fuel tank to get all the old fuel out. It had new final drive fluid put in it for the CVT. The stuff that came out was almost all but yellow. It was abysmal looking. And now that scooter is actually sitting with a friend, Chris, who will, for a fact, be featured on this channel here soon. I then migrated to a 153cc Honda PCX. So it was a 2016 Honda PCX scooter. It had great fun on that. I actually kind of regret selling it from time to time. My buddy Chris owns that, and we've got some work on it done that's actually going to be featured on this channel. I put about 4,000 to 5,000 miles on that, just scooting around town. Absolutely loved it. Scooted around town, took it to the next town over. Went places, went distances that most scooters won't go, but it did, and it did pretty well. Looking back, I kind of wish I would have kept it and put a modified variator in it. But hey, that's okay. It is now with Chris, who is loving it very much dearly. Afterwards, I finally traded up to a Suzuki TU250, which you've already heard me mention. 16 horsepower, got me about 5,000 miles additionally this past year. And I took it from here in West Virginia down to North Carolina and back. That was about 800 and odd some miles in 3 days, and that's insane for a small bike. It wasn't the world's most comfortable thing, but I had a 30-liter pannier bag strapped to the rear seat, and with a cup of water, well, not a cup of water, but like a nice tumbler of water on the cup holder attached to the front forks where it wouldn't interfere as the front forks compressed for the suspension. I was off to the races. That was an amazing experience, and I'm glad I got to experience it. I didn't get to film it, but I'm glad I got to experience it. And I also did some work on that bike, which you will soon see as soon as I film the introductory video. I want to keep the timelines accurate, so I don't want to show a whole bunch of work on a bike I haven't actually introduced yet. Like by this video, the Honda PCX on my channel you see has already been sold. So I'm kind of messing with timelines a bit. But after the Suzuki, which I still own it, it's just at the mechanic right now in the next town over, but I actually bought a 2002 Harley-Davidson Road King. It's the 88 CI motor. It's 1450cc for those who don't understand the cubic inches. Put 1,000 miles on it and it went kaput, so trying to see what happened. I already replaced the coil and the wires, and that didn't change anything, so I'm not entirely sure if it's the ECU. I'm not entirely sure if it's something mechanical. I don't know. So right now, I'm focusing on saving up money just in case it's something dramatic, which I doubt it is, but just in case it is, I have the capital available to do it. So right now, the Suzuki had safety issues I had to address, such as new tires, so it got fixed first this year. But I wanted to take this time to do a recap video about my last year of riding, which you've kind of heard how it went so far. I did about 11,000 miles, and I didn't have any issues, except the Harley, which, well, the Harley things, apparently. The joke is, you know, they have oil in them because they're leaking. And mine doesn't leak. It's just, I think the previous owner, I know for a fact it sat for a year, and I just think it developed issues after sitting for a year. So those will get sorted out in time, but I still have the Suzuki to ride around and enjoy for the meantime. I did learn a lot in my first year riding, and I mean a lot. And too much to go over in today's video, but I learned at least 3 things that I think could help other potential new riders like myself. And the first one, and I'm going to have all these in the video as well, but the first one is ride like people can't see you. And I know people will take this and overthink on it. I know I did. But I also think it depends on your area. So for example, I'm in West Virginia. People around here are typically pretty courteous about motorcycles. They see motorcycles. I neighbor Pennsylvania directly, and Pennsylvania is like the motorcycle, what's the word I'm looking for? The motorcycle stomping grounds of the eastern seaboard, I feel. Like everyone and their brother has a motorcycle in Pennsylvania. They don't have a helmet law, and I'm very much pro-helmet. I know some people I've talked to put up very kind of convincing arguments for not wearing a helmet. I'm always going to have a brain bucket on. But hey, ultimately, if your state doesn't have a law, it's your choice, and I'm not going to sit here and judge you for it. Pennsylvania, I never had an issue with riding. West Virginia, couple of idiots here and there, but generally it's been few and far between. It really seems to be the closer you get into DC is where I ran into more issues of people just not paying attention. We're trained to look for pedestrians, we're trained to look for other cars, but it doesn't seem like we're trained to look for motorcycles. And that's where most of my close calls were, oh, I didn't see you on the bike. Well, would you have seen me if I was in a car? I want to say ride like people can't see you. There's also a certain level of, like, be paranoid, but also don't be so paranoid that you can't enjoy the ride. Go out there, get the ride in, enjoy it, and just realize people might not always see you. I've also sort of learned to be my own mechanic. Most of the shops around here start at $125 an hour. There are certain things, like on the Suzuki right now. Let me get the work pulled up. It's getting a front and rear tire, which they're tubed. I could probably do that myself. But there was enough work on the bike that I don't know how to do that I would just let the mechanics do it. Like something like its valve adjustment, it's definitely outside of my realm of comfort for now, but I do have the factory service manual. I will eventually learn how to do it, but for now there was just so much work, and now with the snow outside, I just found it more wise to let the shop handle it. But small things like installing a trickle charger for the battery, just putting 2 leads on the battery. Well, that was super simple. That was pretty straightforward. I ordered a cheap USB phone charger off of Amazon, just wiring that into the battery. That was super simple. Learning how to take the plastics off and put them back on without cracking. I didn't get that quite right the first time. Just learning how to do stuff like that and being comfortable working around that can potentially save you a lot of money. When in doubt, always refer to your owner's manual, or in this case, I have the shop manual. Third and final thing I learned in the first year of my riding is really don't take it too seriously. But that comes with a caveat. Ride your own ride and ride what you want to ride. Don't override yourself. I definitely didn't think I was going to jump into a Harley-Davidson Road King. I didn't think I would. My uncle has one. I love its sound and I love how it looks. But I always saw myself going more for like a Honda CB500X or the new Transalp, their 750cc adventure bike. That's what I was aiming for, or like a larger dual sport, something like the 250 is not particularly large, but like the Yamaha XT250 I was looking into. I might actually go ride and take a look at one today, although that shop might be closed because it's Monday. But I learned don't override yourself. One of the earlier group rides I did with a local riders group was to go from one town to another town, and we were going to take the highway in, but we were going to go to the starting point, and all of a sudden the ride leader starts taking off doing 80, 90 miles an hour down the highway. And I get onto the highway, I get all on the merge ramp, I get on up to speed, doing 70, 75, and I'm like, I don't like this, but I'm going to stick with him, but I don't like speeding. And finally we got to the point where they were exceeding speeds of 80, getting up to 90, and I'm like, you know what? I waved them by. I waved the rest of the group by because I was closer to the rear of the pack, and I waved them by. I said, you know, this enough's enough. I'm not going to do this. The original ride leader who orchestrated the event was unavailable, so somebody else stepped in. And I reached out to the ride leader like, if this is how you all ride, look, I get it. Some people like to ride fast. I'm going to save this for a track. This isn't what I do on open roads. I don't condone stupid behavior on the open road because that can potentially impact others that have nothing to do with your group. So I broke off and actually went to go hang out with a friend. I ended up getting a beautiful 2.5, 3 hour ride in that day one way to go see her up in Pennsylvania, which again, right, Pennsylvania is very motorcycle aware. And it was a gorgeous ride. I got, I think, 120 or so or 150 miles in that day. It was a gorgeous day, mid-70s. The riding gear wasn't too hot. Oh, it was gorgeous. It was phenomenal. So the day started off not so great, but I decided I'm going to ride my own ride. I don't care if they think I'm lame. I don't care if they think I'm scared. I don't care what they think, because I'm going to go home and not be a greasy spot on the highway from falling off my bike because I was going too fast. So yeah, top 3 things, lesson learned. Ride like people can't see you, but don't be too paranoid. Learn to be your own mechanic, and ride your own ride. Don't take riding too seriously. So yeah, just some other odds and ends channel updates. As I've said many times, the introductory video for the Suzuki needs to be filmed. After that, there's going to be a few hours of content behind it. We've got an oil change video. We've got installing a Guardian bell. We've got... what else did we put on that bike? A larger windshield, just all sorts of stuff. And some group videos with my friend Chris are going to be coming soon, where we turned wrenches on, again, the Suzuki, the Honda PCX, which is now his, and trying to diagnose the Harley-Davidson Road King, which the end of that video didn't quite turn out like I'd hoped, but I may clip it, I may not, we'll see what happens. But for now, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, actually, seriously, give me a thumbs down. Tell me in the comments why you didn't like it. And if you liked it just enough, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It certainly helps little channels like me grow up to be those big channels like Quasi Motard, Life of Birch, Motard Squid, and all those other cool motorcycle guys. So for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.